Your person is currently navigating a period of emotional insecurity regarding this connection. Right now, they're feeling uncertain and vulnerable because they sense a noticeable shift in your energy. The love and emotional openness you once expressed so freely seem to have quieted, and that change is deeply affecting them. In the past, they could feel your warmth, your care, and your presence even from a distance. You were emotionally available, expressive, and transparent in your affection, something that gave them a sense of safety and importance. Now, however, there's a stillness from your side that they're not used to. It's not that you've withdrawn completely, but your silence and restraint are making them question where they stand in your heart. Despite their insecurity, they're also seeing you through a lens of admiration. They're struck by your strength, your intuition, and the grace with which you've handled past pain. They know, perhaps more than they ever acknowledged before, how deeply you were hurt and how much you endured, yet you didn't crumble. Instead, you rose with even more inner power. They find this transformation remarkable. Your resilience is inspiring, and it has made them look at you with new eyes. This silent strength has elevated you in their heart and mind, and they now see you as someone who not only survives hardship but grows from it with wisdom and dignity. Although you may not be outwardly expressive right now, their soul still feels the truth of your emotions. They sense that your love hasn't vanished, it's just being held in a different way. Somewhere deep within, they know that you still care, that you still desire this connection, and that your heart is still aligned with theirs. But they're craving confirmation. They're looking for some kind of sign from you, a small gesture, a message, a phone call, something that will let them know you're still invested, that the door to your heart hasn't closed entirely. What they truly want is reassurance. Before they feel safe enough to come forward and speak honestly, they need to know that their feelings won't be met with coldness or rejection. They're hoping you'll reach out, even subtly, to give them the green light to express everything they've been holding inside. But at the same time, it's important to understand that this moment isn't about chasing or overextending yourself emotionally. You don't need to take action unless your heart genuinely guides you to do so. This is no longer about proving your love, because you've already done that in the past, many times over. Now it's about balance, about creating space for them to step into their own power and meet you halfway. Let them come out of their shell. Let them find the courage to face their own emotions and express them clearly. For too long, this dynamic may have been one-sided, with you offering, giving, and waiting. But now, the energy has shifted. You've stepped back, not out of indifference, but out of self-respect. You are no longer chasing or pleading for love. You've reclaimed your worth and are allowing the connection to unfold naturally, without forcing anything. This change hasn't gone unnoticed. In the past, your person may have been hesitant to put in effort. They may have expected you to always bridge the distance or carry the emotional weight. But that is no longer the case. Now, they're feeling the quiet void your distance has created, and it's pushing them to reflect deeply on their own role in this relationship. Your decision to sit back and allow things to flow organically is awakening something within them, a recognition that if they truly want this connection, they must take responsibility for nurturing it. And they will. The energy around them is shifting. Slowly but surely, they are preparing to take the lead. No more avoiding, no more excuses. The old dynamic of running and chasing is dissolving. This time, it's about mutual effort, honest communication, and emotional reciprocity. Your person is beginning to understand that love isn't about waiting for someone else to make the first move forever. It's about vulnerability, courage, and action. So, trust the process. Continue honoring your intuition. You don't have to reach out unless you feel it's right. Let them come forward when they are truly ready, not out of fear or pressure, but from a place of genuine love and desire. You've already done the inner work. Now it's their turn to step up, to speak from the heart, and to meet you at the level you deserve. This connection has the potential to blossom into something more balanced and fulfilling, but only if both hearts are open and willing to walk toward each other with equal steps. I know that the lack of communication between us has created distance, uncertainty, and doubt in your heart. I sense that you're questioning everything about us, wondering what happened, and perhaps even wondering if what we shared was ever real. And though I've remained silent for some time, I want you to know that my silence has never meant indifference. In fact, it's quite the opposite. So today, I want to speak from my heart, not with the intention to fix everything in an instant, but simply to share my truth with honesty and vulnerability. Right now, more than anything, I ask you to listen not to the noise of fear or doubt, but to your heart, and to the quiet whisper of your soul. Because no matter how things may appear on the outside, the connection we share is still alive within me. It hasn't faded. If anything, it's grown stronger, deeper, and more sacred in my solitude. The time I've spent in silence hasn't been wasted. I've been using it to truly focus on myself and my healing. I didn't want to continue living from a place of immaturity, ego, or defensiveness. I had to stop pretending I was okay when I wasn't. I needed to face the parts of myself that I had long avoided. I didn't want to keep projecting my fears or insecurities onto you or our connection. I knew that in order to love someone the way they deserve to be loved, I first had to learn how to love and understand myself. And that's the journey I've been on. My heart still wants you. That desire hasn't wavered. I've achieved many things in my life recently. Milestones that once felt so far away are now within reach or already in my hands. Yet, in the quiet moments, when the world isn't watching and I'm alone with my thoughts, I feel this emptiness deep within me. Because none of it feels truly fulfilling without you here beside me. That sense of completeness I thought success would bring, it's missing. And now I understand why. Your presence brought something into my life that nothing else ever could. When we met, I was in a state of emotional and financial instability. I was lost in many ways, and though I felt drawn to you with a force I couldn't explain, I also felt scared, terrified, even. I kept running from you, not because I didn't care, but because I didn't want you to see how messy and broken my world was. I was ashamed of my circumstances. I didn't want to burden you or bring you into my chaos. I believed that by pushing you away, I was protecting you, from me, from my flaws, from my unhealed wounds. Looking back, I see now that I lacked confidence. I was struggling with self-worth in a way I hadn't even realized before. And strangely, your love illuminated those hidden parts of me. When you came into my life, it was as though a mirror had been held up to my soul, and every wound I hadn't addressed began to resurface. At the time, it felt overwhelming. I didn't know how to handle it. But now, I recognize that this was a necessary part of my growth. It was life's way of forcing me to finally deal with what I had ignored for too long. There was a time when I constantly questioned, why you? Why now? Why this intense connection? But over time, and with space, reflection, and healing, I've come to understand that everything happens for a reason. You didn't enter my life by accident. You were the catalyst I needed to start changing, to start waking up to my deeper truth. You made me feel things I had buried. You showed me what genuine connection could be. And though our paths have diverged for now, the lessons you brought into my life continue to shape me in profound ways. Today, I no longer ask, why did you come into my life? Because now, the reasons are becoming clearer each day. I see the purpose behind your presence, behind the love we shared, and even behind the separation that followed. And with that understanding comes a quiet sense of gratitude, gratitude for you, for your love, for your patience, and for your role in my journey. I don't know what the future holds. I'm not here to make promises or pressure you into anything. I simply wanted you to know what's in my heart. That despite everything, despite the silence, the distance, and the time, I still feel connected to you in ways I can't fully explain. I still carry you with me, in my thoughts, in my heart, in the silent hopes I send out into the universe. Whatever happens next, I hope you find clarity and peace within yourself. I hope you continue to listen to your heart, because it knows the truth, just as mine does. Your partner is overwhelmed with emotion right now, crying, hurting, and longing to talk. The weight of everything they once ignored is finally crashing down on them. It's as if karma has come full circle, and it's hitting them differently this time. What once felt distant or easily dismissed has become deeply personal and real. They're now beginning to truly understand and believe the heartfelt truths you once shared about your love and the potential of your relationship. Back then, they might have brushed off your words, failed to appreciate your effort, or thought they could move on unscathed, but not anymore. Your absence has become a constant presence in their life, one they can't escape, and it's forcing them to confront everything they tried to bury. They're realizing now that their feelings for you run much deeper than they ever admitted, even to themselves. There's a growing awareness inside them, a stirring in the soul, that tells them they never really stopped loving you. In fact, their love for you has intensified in your absence. The silence between you has only amplified what they tried so hard to ignore. Now, with all the emotional fog beginning to clear, they are ready, truly ready, to leave the past behind. All the misunderstandings, the pride, the fear, the mistakes, they no longer want those things to stand between you. What they crave most is reconciliation, a chance to sit across from you, look you in the eyes, and say what they should have said long ago. And they have a secret they've been carrying, a truth they kept hidden even from themselves. You are their dream person. You always were. But their fear got the better of them. They didn't pull away because they didn't care, they pulled away because they cared too much. Loving you meant risking emotional exposure, and for them, that kind of vulnerability was terrifying. You embodied a calm strength, an unbothered presence that made them feel safe and seen, but also exposed. You didn't need them to complete you, and that shook them. They admired you for it, but they also resented their own emotional chaos in contrast. They hated how deeply you affected them. Being around you stirred something within them that they couldn't control. After the separation, they tried to distract themselves, to pretend everything was fine. But it wasn't. Beneath the surface, they were slowly unraveling. Sadness lingered in their chest like a storm that wouldn't pass. They felt destroyed from the inside out. No matter what they tried, new people, new routines, numbing habits, nothing could fill the void your absence left behind. They began to wish, more and more, that things could have gone differently. The life they're living now feels empty, unfulfilling, and distant from what they truly want. And what they want is you. The pain of regret is something they carry heavily. They replay moments over and over in their mind, the things they said, the things they didn't say, the way they let pride or fear guide their actions. They realize now how deeply they hurt you, and it eats at them. If they could go back and undo it, they would. But since they can't, they're determined to make things right. Quietly, they've been forming a plan. It may not be perfect, but it comes from the heart. They want to reach out. They want to explain. They want to do better, to be better. They've even started praying for reunion. Whether they're religious or not, they find themselves speaking to the universe, to God, to anything that might be listening, hoping for another chance. Hoping that you're still open to hearing them out. At night, when everything quiets down and the distractions fade, their thoughts of you become louder than ever. They lie awake, restless and alone, haunted by memories of you, by the sound of your voice, the way you laughed, the comfort you brought. They wonder if you're thinking of them too. If maybe, just maybe, you miss them even a fraction of how much they miss you. Those sleepless nights have become routine. They no longer pretend to be okay. They're done hiding from their feelings. They're done running. What they feel for you is real, and they know it now more than ever. You're not just someone they loved, you are someone they still love, deeply and truly. And they are holding on to hope, praying that somehow, despite everything, there's still a path back to you.